I believe the next generation of social networks are games, right? Like games like, for example, Fortnite or Roblox. You know, already millions of people are gathering on those platforms, and when the VR comes, a particular vertical of people will be living in those VRs, and in Roblox and Fortnite, they will be our virtual worlds in the future. So it's going to be like Oasis in Ready Player One. You know, let's say you are playing a game. Let's say you are playing Fortnite, and you are gaining some items in Fortnite. Right now, there is no way that you convert those items to anything besides Fortnite. You have to go to an unsecured secondary market to sell them. You don't know their price. You don't know their what's their worth. And even if you sell them in the second market, not everybody has access to those markets, and not everybody has the funds in those markets. So what this will change, moving money very fast on a singular infrastructure will change, is what you gain from Fortnite. You can immediately go buy coffee on your on Starbucks in your corner. You know, you go out, you go to Starbucks, and you buy coffee with your Fortnite's gainings. You know, and that is a very different future that we live, because what we understand from payments is usually when I say remittances or payments to people, what we understand is like $1,000, $1,000, you know, sending around. But 80% of all payments are below $200, you know, $5, $10, $20. Try send $20 from United States to China. It's impossible. It's not doable. Nobody does that because the costs and fees are much higher than $20. I mean, the SWIFT itself is $25 at this moment. You know, it's impossible to move money, to small amounts of money around the world right now. So that's what we are trying to change. Could we change it? I don't know, but it will be changed. It's going to be us? I don't know, but it will be changed. It has to change. It makes sense. That's the world we want to live in. You know?
So that means a sort of world where what counts as currency could be almost anything as long as you can trace its value.
Exactly.
Right?
As long as you can value them, as long as they can store the value, and with that storage, you can move it around as a unique asset, the problem can be solved. And
so this means you could have an asset that as you've pointed out, you could have an asset that you win in a game that has a value. Yeah. That value can be ascertained if this technology develops the way you think or hope. So you have an asset. It has a value in the game, but now you can ascertain a kind of external value as well, which you can then use that to buy coffee or to buy groceries. Exactly. Now, presumably that means you would be able to do this with deeds of physical assets as well.
That's where I was getting at. You don't have to have only digital assets. You can digitize a physical asset, you know, because think about fiat money. Physical cash can be represented in the digital world, and digital cash can be represented in the blockchain. But it also means that physical cash is actually represented in the blockchain via stablecoin. So you have $1 banknote, and it's represented in the stablecoin. So you can digitize everything. You can digitize deeds, for example. So with all of a sudden, you are growing wheat, and you are pushing that wheat without first converting it to any fiat money, and you can go buy a refrigerator, you know, because an oracle says 3 wheat are worth 1 refrigerator, and so you push the digital wheats that are represented in your digital world and buy the refrigerator, because now it can be settled amongst each other. The problem we have right now is our infrastructure are not built to settle everything. You know, the only settlements can take place in the banking infrastructure, and the banking infrastructure are very much disconnected from the e-wallet infrastructure, and they are very disconnected from the cash infrastructure.
So how would these things come together? I mean, we can look at what you're working on, which is, you know, this is payments. This is an addition to the banking infrastructure, right? Like an augmentation.
Yeah, it's just an augmentation. So the endpoints that we have in our system are all fiat money, and the endpoints are we only connect financial institutions, the regulated, licensed financial institutions, to those endpoints, because the money comes in from one end and fiat money comes in from one end in our system, and fiat money goes out in a different currency on the other end.
Okay, but what does it take? What does it take to go from that, which seems like just a sort of a relatively small step forward in terms of mindset, right? People accepting it. How do we go from there to being able to buy a coffee with something I've just earned playing Fortnite? What would it take to get all these different kinds of networks and infrastructures to be recognized somehow?
The technical part is not that hard. Because the technology that we needed was the blockchain, especially public. What we needed was the Bitcoin, actually. Okay, now we have Bitcoin. It's great. It's very secure, and we can connect everything because it lives on the internet. Everything that's connected to the internet can also connect to the Bitcoin network. So from the technical point of view, we have it. So what we need to change is the behavioral patterns of people. So in order to change the behavioral patterns, you have to give value to you have to offer value with those changes. So the more change you expect from people, the more value you have to offer them.
If you like this video, check out the full interview. This is an excerpt from. You should see a link to that full interview somewhere here on the screen, and I'll also put one in the description box below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking it and sharing it, and do subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all my videos as they go live. Thank you so much for watching, and stay curious.